My esteemed colleagues, Honorable Justice Lalit, Honorable Justice V. Ram Subramaniam, Honorable Judges of the Odisha High Court, past and present, Shri Ashok Kumar Parija, the Honorable Advocate General for State of Odisha, Shri Manan Kumar Mishra, the Chairman of the Bar Council of India, as well as the Bar Council of India Trust, Shri S. Prabhakaran, the Co-Chairman of the Bar Council, Shri Apurva Kumar Sharma and Shri Satish Deshmukh, the Vice Chairmen of the Bar Council of India, Shri M.R. Mohapatra, Shri Devi Prasad Dhal, and all the other learned members of the Bar Council of India, Dr. Achyut Samanta, Dr. Mitra, Dr. Professor Mustafa, the Vice Chancellor of Nalsar, Dr. Chakravarti, the Vice Chancellor of National University of Juridical Sciences, Kolkata, Dr. Singh, the Acting Vice Chancellor of the Odisha National Law University. I also noticed Dr. Bhavani Prasad Pandya, who was the first Vice Chancellor of Maharashtra Law University at Mumbai. Mr. Dash, the Registrar General of the Odisha High Court, and all other officers of the Odisha High Court, members of the Odisha State Judiciary, the members of the faculty, academicians, lawyers, and friends. It gives me a great pleasure to be with you this morning for the foundation ceremony of Indian Institute of Law, which is a joint venture of the Bar Council of India through its trust with the support of Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology. I find myself sandwiched between Justice Ramasubramaniam and Justice Lalit. As a middle judge, I could very well say that I already agree with whatever said by Justice Ramasubramaniam, and I will agree with whatever being said by my learned senior colleague. I must at the outset congratulate the Bar Council of India for this very important step, which, as addressed by Justice Ram Subramaniam, coincides with the golden jubilee of the establishment of the Advocates Act. In fact, I have been closely associated with the Bar Council of India as well as Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa. And whenever the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa did not find any guest, I was always available for them as a last. The learned Advocate General said that about 30 years back, and which was endorsed by Justice Ram Subramaniam, that the law education was not by choice, but by way of last choice. Many of the persons joined law courses because they were available in the morning and evening hours, and a person could do his job throughout the day and attend the classes either in the morning or in the evening. As the then President of India, Dr. Radhakrishnan, said, our colleges of law do not hold a place of high esteem either at home or abroad. Nor law has become an area of profound scholarship and enlightenment research. I am also reminded of the Justice Malimat Committee report, wherein it was observed that the law schools of present day are nothing but factories of producing half-baked lawyers and thirsting the parasites in the society. But the things have changed a lot. We see that the first important step that was taken by the Bar Council of India was the establishment of National Law University at Bangalore, which brought a sea transformation in the legal education. Then it was followed by various national law institutions, NALSAR, the National University of Juridical Sciences, and now we have national law universities in almost all the states imparting quality education to students and thereby providing the lawyers to the institution who can contribute to the society immediately after they start practice. Because if I am reminded of my own experience, I took a year to understand that I have not understood anything about law in 3 years at the law college, and therefore it was only practice which taught us. But the present model of mixing theoretical with practical knowledge, we have seen that I have, as a High Court judge or even as a lawyer, I had attended various moot courts in the conducted by various universities, and we could notice the thorough research, the thorough preparation made by the law students, which could compete with the finest of the lawyers. And therefore, we must acknowledge that the step taken by the Bar Council of India by first establishing the National Law University at Bangalore and thereafter the sea change in the legal education has contributed a lot for producing quality lawyers. Today's function is also a milestone in the history of the Bar Council of India with collaboration of its trust as well as the Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology. Dr. Mitra, in his address, has already highlighted as to what would be the salient features of this institution. As all of us know, that law is not static, but it is organic and always evolving, developing. And therefore, the law education requires itself to develop the times, and only the institution of this nature, which will have a contribution of the best available faculties in the country, so also the professionals who are highly successful in their career, which would impart a continuous legal education and produce the faculty for the law universities, law colleges. It cannot be denied that there is a shortage of a quality faculty available for available for the law colleges and the universities in the country. And therefore, there is always a poaching. One vice chancellor of one national law university is taken by the another university. So also the faculty keeps on moving. And I am sure that this noble task that you have undertaken to produce the quality faculty will stop this, and there will be a continuity of the faculties in the universities. Dr. Samanta referred in his speech that today's day coincides with the World Social Justice Day. I think today is the day of all pleasant coincidences. Justice Ram Subramaniam referred to the Golden Jubilee of the Advocates Act. Dr. Samanta referred to the Social Justice Day. As all of us know that our Constitution has guaranteed to each of the citizens justice, social, political, and economic. Dr. Ambedkar, in his speech while presenting the final draft of the Constitution on 25th of November 1949, he said that we have ensured justice, social, economic, and political to all the citizens in the country. By adopting the principle of one person, one value, one vote, we have ensured that a political justice to some extent would be ensured. But what about social and economic justice? He said on a social plane, we have a society divided into 4 compartments and which are closed compartments. On an economic plane, we have the 90% of the wealth concentrated in few hands and the vast majority even deprived of basic necessities of the life. And he had said that if these disparities are not removed, if every step possible in order to achieve social and economic justice is not taken, then this edifice of democracy that which we have so laboriously built would fall down like a house of cards. I am very happy to know that the steps taken by the Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology of providing free education to more than 35,000 tribal students in this area, which is a predominantly tribal and backward area, is a step towards achieving political and social justice. Every such movement, every such step in order to achieve the aim of the framers of the Constitution who had struggled for getting freedom is necessary. I must congratulate Dr. Samanta for all his efforts in the field of providing education for the people who, on account of geographical reasons, the tribals could not have access to justice. As all of us know, that it was the Supreme Court initially in the case of Mohini Jain and thereafter in the case of Constitution Bench in the case of Unni Krishnan, which first recognized the right to education as a fundamental right, and thereafter by the amendment to the Constitution, Article 21A was introduced. Dr. Ambedkar said that what is the use of rights if you are not aware that you have rights? And unless the education is provided, the citizens would not come to know that they have rights which are to be encashed by them. I am sure that the Indian Institute of Law, with the full support of Bar Council of India and the Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, would not only provide the faculties which would be providing quality education to the students throughout the country, but would also produce the faculty which will imbibe the constitutional values in the students which they would be teaching, and ensure that the aim of the Constitution, the goal of the Constitution of achieving social, political, and economic justice is adhered to by one and all. I once again congratulate the Bar Council of India, the Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, and do hope, not only hope, but I am sure, and as dreamed by the learned Advocate General, this will be a milestone in the legal education. Thank you very much.